Hello everyone, I am Dr. K. Annapurna, Associate Professor of ECE Department, VFSTR deemed to be University, Vadlamudi. Our today's topic is phase lock loop. In your communications, analog communications, you have gone through the detection techniques, that is synchronous detection techniques, demodulation techniques, where it needs a same carrier whichever it is used at the transmitter side for modulation. That means it should maintain same phase, same frequency, right? So how to get that at the receiver? It is with the help of phase lock loop. The main objective of this class is to make you familiarize with the concept of phase lock loop and voltage controlled oscillator. And by the end of this lecture, you will come to know what is PLL, what is lock-in range, what is capture range, what is pull-in time, what are the applications of PLL, what is VCO, how to obtain the free running frequency of VCO, how to realize few applications of the PLL. So phase lock loop. So phase lock loop is a non-linear feedback system, okay, that tracks the frequency of the input signal to minimize the phase error at the local oscillator. Okay, so it is basically a non-linear control system to control the phase and frequency such that there is minimum phase error at the local oscillator. And few applications used for synchronization in AM, FSK, FM demodulator circuits, and then used as frequency translator or frequency multiplier, frequency divider, okay, and used in clock recovery circuits, used to remove jitter and noise, and used in frequency synthesizer circuits and tone generators, and used to generate stable clock in microprocessors. Okay, at time 0, both are at starting point, that means there is no phase difference. But from time to time, there is phase shift. That is, this phase shift is varying with respect to time. Okay, and frequency is nothing but change of phase shift. Okay, here that phase shift is constant, that is the frequency difference is not there in the first waveform. Okay, it is the concept of phase and frequency. Frequency means the number of cycles per second. Here if you observe, the second waveform is having double cycles compared to the first waveform. That means its frequency is double. Okay, now let us see the block diagram and operation of the PLL. Okay, basically it is having 4 blocks. The first one is phase detector or phase comparator, and next one is low pass filter, error amplifier, and VCO means voltage controlled oscillator. Okay, here phase detector is supplied with 2 inputs, input signal, that is incoming signal. Generally in our applications it is the modulated signal, okay, and this is used for generation of carrier. Okay, here this local oscillator will generate some carrier frequency, and this phase detector will compare these 2 frequencies and phases, and it will generate the error signal. And basically this phase detector or comparator is a product modulator, okay, which generates the sum frequency and difference frequency, the sum of these 2 frequencies as well as difference of these 2 frequencies. And this is low pass filter. So what is the function of low pass filter? It passes the low frequency signal. So out of these 2, which is low frequency, sum frequency or difference frequency? It is difference frequency. So it passes the difference frequency signal, and that signal will be amplified by the error amplifier, and it is used as control voltage for this. voltage controlled oscillator. The function of this voltage controlled oscillator is it generates the frequency of oscillations, okay, based on its input voltage. That is, it receives some control voltage. Based on that control voltage, it changes its frequency of oscillations. That's why it is called voltage controlled oscillator. Anyway, its internal circuit we will see later. Okay. So, it generates the error and then again low pass filter. So, in this action what happens is this VCO changes its frequency such that the next time the error signal will be minimized. So, like that it will repeat the process and it will do it till the error becomes 0. That is, there is no frequency difference between incoming signal and VCO output signal. When these two frequencies become same, that is said to be under the locked condition. Okay, actually in PLL there are 3 regions of operation. First one is free running. And second one is capture. And third one is lock. Okay, in free running state, when there is no external input signal, VCO on its own, it generates some frequency of oscillations. That is, there is no control voltage. Okay. So, based on that, it will generate some frequency of oscillations that is said to be under free running state. And then, when you are applying some input signal and this phase comparator will give some frequency and difference frequency, and this low pass filter passes the difference frequency signal which is error signal, and amplifier amplifies it, and that acts as the control voltage for this VCO. Then this VCO changes its frequency of oscillations towards the incoming signal frequency. That means for the next time the error will be reduced. So once this action started means it is under capture mode. Okay. So this process repeated until the error becomes 0. Error becomes 0 means the incoming signal frequency is equal to the VCO output signal frequency. So that condition is said to be locked condition. And here capture mode, that is capturing action starts only when this difference frequency is less than the cutoff frequency of this low pass filter, right? If that difference frequency is 3 kilohertz, and the cutoff frequency of your low pass filter is 2 kilohertz, then will it pass this signal? No. So, no action will start. So, when the difference is less than the cutoff frequency of low pass filter, then only the capturing starts, right? So, suppose it is 4 kilohertz means the capturing action starts. So, the capture range is decided by the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter. And once capturing action started means time to time the error signal will be reduced, and at some point of time both incoming signal frequency and VCO signal frequency will be same. Then that PLL is said to be in locked condition. So once it enters into the locked condition, what happens? Suppose it okay, both are locked at 10 kilohertz frequency, let us assume. Then what happens? Suppose the incoming signal frequency is changed to 11 kilohertz means automatically this VCO will track to that frequency. That is, directly it changes its frequency of oscillations to the 11 kilohertz. Suppose incoming signal frequency is changed to 12 kilohertz, means it will change to 12. Okay, but there will be some limit, that is called lock-in range. Okay, here first one is free running. That is when there is no input signal, VCO output frequencies is generated on its own and it is said to be in free running mode. Once input is applied and the frequency difference between this input signal and VCO output signal is less than the cutoff frequency of low pass filter, then the action, loop action starts. That is called capture mode. And the range is, that is what should be the difference, up to what difference it will allow means, that is depending on the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter. And next, time to time, the VCO changes its frequency of oscillations such that its output signal frequency is reaching the input signal frequency. That is, time to time, the difference is getting reduced. That means error signal is decreased. And at some point of time, both frequencies will be same. Then it is said to be in locked mode. Okay, once the PLL is locked means, it can track the input signal frequency. Track means no need of this error signal correction and all. Suppose it is locked at 10 kilohertz, next input signal frequency is changed to 12 kilohertz means automatically VCO signal will track that. That is, it will change its frequency of oscillations to 12 kilohertz. But there will be some limit, that is lock-in range. Okay, suppose it is F0, this is capture range, this will be the lock range. Lock range is always greater than capture range. That means it can track up to some range of frequencies, and that range, the allowable range is called lock range. Okay. Okay, the major important definitions of this is, capture range means capture range. It is the range of frequencies over which PLL can acquire lock with the incoming signal frequencies. That is, it is able to acquire lock. That is called capture range. And next, lock-in range means it is the range of frequencies over which PLL can maintain lock with the incoming signal frequencies. Okay. That means it can directly track the incoming signals. And next one is pull-in time. So pull-in time means the time taken by the PLL to establish lock is called pull-in time. Okay, now let us see the first block in detail, that is phase detector or phase comparator. There are two types basically. Okay, analog phase detector and digital phase detector. Now let us see two analog phase detectors and two digital phase detectors. Okay, this is the first analog phase detector. It is simply a switch. That is, this VCO signal acts as control for this switch. If this VCO signal output is positive means this switch is in on condition. If this VCO signal is negative or 0 means this switch is in off condition. So when it is on means whatever the input signal, it will be appeared at the output. If it is off means no outputs because it is open circuit. Okay, so see here the waveforms. VCO signal is square wave and incoming signal is sine wave. And here first we are taking, there is 0 degrees phase shift between VCO and inputs. Okay. So if it is 0 degrees during its on period, that is when VCO is positive half cycle, then only the output will be passed to the signal will be passed to the outputs. So only these portions are highlighted. And if you take the average, we are passing through low pass filter means we are taking the average signal. So what is the average of these two? All are positive values. So we will get some positive average which is shown as this dashed lines. Okay, some positive control voltage or error voltage. Now if there is 90 degrees phase shift between VCO signal and input signal, then see here half negative half cycle and half positive half cycle are entering into the outputs. Now if we take the average of this, what is the average? Sum of these values itself is 0. So average will be 0. So here 0 error voltage. And next, if the phase difference is 180 degrees. If the phase difference is 180 degrees, only negative half cycles are passing. Because during the positive half cycle of VCO, input signal will be having negative half cycle because of 180 degrees phase shift. So only negative half cycles are passing. So all negative values. So what is the average? It is also some negative. So negative error voltage. At 0 degrees you are having maximum error voltage and it is positive. At 0 degrees maximum error voltage and positive. When this 0 is, that is phase shift is changing from 0 to some positive phase shift means some negative parts will come. So positive and negative gets cancels and finally it results in reduced error voltage. And exactly at phi is equal to 90 degrees, the error becomes 0 because positive and negative are exactly same. So at 90 degrees, the error voltage is 0. And then when it is reaching 180 degrees or after crossing 90, what happens? The negative portions will be dominating compared to positive portions. So the error voltage results in negative. And exactly at 180 degrees, all are completely negative. So you will get maximum negative error voltage at 180 degrees phase shift. Okay, this is one analog phase detector. And the next analog phase detector is, okay, this is the second analog phase detector. It is just balanced modulator. Okay. So here what is happening? You see here, let us see this. From 0 to, what is this period? Pi minus phi. Right? This is 0. 0 to pi minus phi, both input and V0, both are positive. So when both are positive, what is happening? V0 positive means Q3 will be on. Vi positive means Q1 will be on. That means these two transistors are on means current flows from V plus RC and this is the path. And what is that amount of current? It is IEE. So what is the drop? Here current is flowing like this, but here you are taking output here means you will get minus. So minus IEE RC is your output. Okay. Next, from pi minus phi to pi. So Vi is positive but V0 is negative. Vi is positive means again Q1 will be on and V0 is negative means Q4 will be on. Okay. So what happens? It is connected to the negative terminal. So you will get minus of minus means it will become plus IEE RC. Its value also RC and current flowing through this resistor also. This is the path. And current flowing through this resistor also IEE. So IEE RC. Like that it repeated. So if you see the output waveform, its period is pi. Okay. So what is the average value? Finally we are taking the average value. So what is the average value? You see here. Total time period is pi. A2 minus A1. A1 is negative values. So A2 minus A1. So instead of that, we have written minus of A1 minus A2. And what is the area of rectangle you know? Okay, length into breadth. So what is area A1? A1 means, what is this? It is pi minus phi. This width is pi minus phi and this is IEE RC. Okay, here no negative values we have to take because already we have considered that and it is just a rectangle. Now you are finding the area. So what is this magnitude means? It is IEE RC and what is this magnitude means? It is pi minus phi. So product of these two will give you the area of A1. So IEE RC into pi minus phi. Similarly, what is the second area? See the second area. It is pi minus phi to phi. That means its width is phi and height is IEE RC. So IEE RC into phi. So IEE RC into phi. Now, if we simplify this and over a period of total pi, that's why in the denominator you are having pi. So if you simplify this, finally you got this. Okay. So this whole thing we are treating that as K phi into phi minus pi by 2. Phi is the phase shift between input signal frequency and VCO signal frequency. Okay. So K phi into phi minus pi by 2. Right? This is second analog detector. And next one is digital phase detector. It is simple XOR gate. You know the truth table of XOR gate, right? Suppose F5, F0 and output let it be Y. So for 2 input XOR gate, what is the truth table? Total 4 combinations. Okay. For 0, 1 and 1, 0 only it gives us 1. For remaining combinations it is 0. So see here, it is the incoming signal and this is the VCO signal. Both are square waves. Okay. When we have to use digital phase detector means if both signals are digital. Digital means like pulses. Okay, zeros and ones only. Whereas analog means in the previous case, what is the incoming signal? It is sine signal. It is continuous signal. So if the input signal is continuous, we have to go for analog phase detectors. If the input signal is digital, then we have to go for digital phase detector. Okay. So here we are considering a phase shift of phi. Now from 0 to phi, this is 1, this is 0 means output will be obviously high. Because 0, 1, 1, 0 combinations, it should give us high, 1. And next, here both are high, so output is low. Next again, here first one is low, second one is high, so it is high. So like that it will be repeated. And here also the period of the output is pi. And here if you observe, for what phase shift you will get the maximum control voltage or error voltage? When there is 180 degrees phase shift, the output will be completely high, right? So at pi, your output will be completely high, and as phase shift is increasing, their coordination will be reducing. So when there is no coordination means your error signal will be increasing. So from 0 to pi it is increasing, and pi to 2 pi again it will decrease. Okay. And now let us see the next phase detector, digital phase detector. It is RS flip-flop. Okay. Here positive edge triggering, and here when it is positive going edge trigger, it should give, that is, there should be change in output. And here Fi is S and Fs is R. That is set input and reset input. You know the RS flip-flop, when S is 1, R is 0 means it sets the flip-flop. That means output becomes 1. And next, when R is 1, S is 0 means it resets. That means output goes to low. Right? And it changes its output only on positive edges. So this is your output. And here how output is changing? This total period is 2 pi. Okay. If there is phase shift is increasing means its signal also, that is error control voltage also increasing. Okay. For example, instead of here, now it is having a phase shift of only this much. Now if I change this to here, what happens? So completely this cycle will be, I will have high. Right? That means it is directly proportional to the phase shift. It is linearly proportional to the phase shift. Okay, these are the phase detectors. Please remember, if the input signal, incoming signal is analog signal, we have to go for analog phase detectors. If the incoming signal is digital signal, we have to go for digital phase detectors. Okay. And VCO signal is always a digital signal. Okay, now let us see the next block. First block phase detector we have seen. What is the next block? Low pass filter. So already we have seen filters in the third unit. So low pass filter means which passes the low frequency signal. Actually phase detector output will give us the sum frequency and difference frequency. Out of those two, the difference frequency is the smallest frequency. So possibility to pass only difference frequency, not the sum frequency. And that too, if that difference is less than the cutoff frequency of low pass filter, then only it passes. Okay. And next block is amplifier. Amplifiers also you have studied in EDC, ECA. So what is the function of amplifier? It amplifies the signal strength without changing its frequency or phase. Okay. Only the amplitude will be enhanced. And the next block is VCO, voltage controlled oscillator. Okay. So voltage controlled oscillator means based on its input control voltage, its frequency of oscillations will be controlled. That's why it is called voltage controlled oscillator. And see here, this is the IC 566. For VCO also available in IC package 566. It is 8-pin IC and these are the pins. And this is the block diagram. Okay. Here, this capacitor is charging from constant current source, or it is discharging through constant current sink. When a capacitor is charging or discharging via a constant current means it will generate the triangular wave. Right? So if you take the output of this capacitor, it will be triangular wave. And here before taking that, there is a buffer. So what is the input output relationship for buffer? V0 is equal to Vi. So here it is capacitor voltage means here also capacitor voltage. Right? So it is triangular wave. It will give us triangular wave because capacitor is charging and discharging via a constant current source. or constant current sink. So it will linearly charge, linearly discharge. It results in triangular wave. Okay, you know voltage across the capacitor means it is 1 by C integral I dt. Okay, this is the voltage current relationship for capacitor. So generally if you see the capacitor voltages, how it will charge and discharge? It will charge like this, it will discharge like this. Okay, usually we will see like this. But now, when current is constant, what is the integration of a constant? That constant into time. So, Vc is equal to 1 by C into I into T. Here I is constant. C also constant. Then it is in the form of AP. So, it will charge like this, linearly, with respect to time. Okay, and then it is giving to the Schmitt trigger. So, what is the function of Schmitt trigger? In the second unit, we have seen the Schmitt trigger. Okay, it converts any waveform into square wave. So, the output of Schmitt trigger will be square wave, and this is inverter. So, inverter means the positive half cycle will be converted to negative and negative will be converted to positive. So, in the VCO, we will have two outputs, triangular output and square wave outputs. And its frequency depends on this R1, that is through resistor, this is charging and discharging, and this capacitor values. Okay. And here this modulating voltage also, modulating input pin also. Okay, anyway, we will derive the free running frequency oscillations. Okay. And this modulating input voltage we see, it can be set to any constant value or you can give any value here. So, based on these parameters, it changes. So, basically, the aim of this is, it is depending on this. So, based on the modulating input, its frequency of oscillations are changing. Okay, this is the connection diagram for VCO and these are the input output waveforms. Okay, we are getting two types of outputs, triangular wave and square wave. And here we will give the control voltage, and through this capacitor and resistor, it is charging and discharging. Okay. So, through constant current source, it is charging and discharging. That's why it is giving us linear increase, linear decrease. Linearly charging and linearly discharging. Now, let us see the calculation of free running frequency of VCO. We know I is equal to C dV by dt. Right? I is equal to C dV by dt. So, from this, dV means change in voltage, it is represented as delta Vc, and dt means it is represented as delta t, and I, and this is, here capacitor is Ct, that's why instead of C we are writing Ct. Now, in the VCO operation, actually, okay, here RA and RD values are same. So, this Schmitt trigger will get half of the output voltage for comparison, and this voltage is changing between 0.5 VCC and VCC. Okay, this is 0.5 VCC and this is VCC. So, when output is at VCC means it will be 0.5 VCC. When output is 0.5 VCC means it is 0.25 VCC. That is, this is the target for the capacitor. That is, when capacitor voltage is reaching this, the state of output of the Schmitt trigger will be changed, right? That is, the capacitor voltage is changing between 0.25 VCC and 0.5 VCC. So here it is changing between 0.5 and 0.25 means what is this change? It is 0.25 VCC in time delta t. So I by Ct. Now from this delta t is 0.25 VCC Ct by I. Just simplifying this. And this is changing for positive going or negative going, only half. So to represent the total time means we have to take 2 times delta t, that is the total time. Then frequency of oscillations is 1 by 2 times delta t. That is, here I am suppose changing, here I am taking, the capacitor is charging between 0.25 and 0.5, right? Suppose if I consider this means, it is taking a time of delta t. So from 0.5 to 0.25 also the same time delta t. So what is the total time now? It is 2 times delta t. So this is the time period. So frequency of oscillations becomes f naught equal to 1 by 2 times delta t. And already we have derived the delta t. Substitute that. And what is I here? So see what is I. So here current is flowing like this, right? So here this pin and this pin will be at the same potential. So it is also at Vc. So Vcc minus Vc by R1, that is I. Here 5th pin is the control voltage pin. Similarly 6th pin also will be at the same potential. Okay. So Vcc minus Vc by R1 is the current. Okay, here it is taken as RT. Instead of R1C1, we have taken RTCT. So it is RT. Now substituting this in F naught. So this is the frequency of oscillations. 2 times Vcc minus Vc by Ct, RT, Vcc. Now if we fix Vc at 7 by 8 VCC, 7 by 8 times the VCC. Okay, see this diagram. With the help of this R2 and R3, we are fixing this voltage at 7 by 8 VCC. Okay, so then what happens? If I substitute that, it becomes 0.25 by RTCT. For this monolithic 566 VCO, it is frequency of oscillations, free running frequency of oscillations is 0.25 by RTCT. And then voltage to frequency conversion factor. Okay, this VCO is changing, that is its input is voltage. So based on that voltage, its frequency of oscillations is changing. So how it is changing, let us see. So this is the sensitivity factor, kV. So we have to derive this. Suppose initial frequency of oscillations is F naught, and for a change of delta Vc in the control voltage, it is changing its frequency to F1. Then F1 minus F naught is the change in frequency of oscillations, delta F naught. So it is F1 means, just now we have derived the frequency of oscillations formula. This is the formula. Okay. So here in the place of Vc, we are writing Vc minus delta Vc. Okay. So if you simplify this, first 2 terms gets cancelled. So 2 times delta Vc by Ct, RT, Vcc. Now what is delta Vc? So taking the remaining terms to the other side. So this is delta Vc. And already what is this? We have seen it is Vcc by 8 F naught. Okay. So what is delta Vc by, delta F naught by delta Vc means it is kV, that is equal to 8 F naught by Vcc. So this is the sensitivity factor of VCO. Okay. So how fast it is changing with respect to the control voltage. So this is the sensitivity factor of the VCO. Now let us see monolithic IC 565 pin diagram. Okay, so here it is available in two packages, metal can package 10 pin and dual inline package 14 pin. Okay. And this is 565 internal block diagram. Okay. So as we have seen the normal block diagram, first phase detector, next error amplifier, next low pass filter. So here this R and this C forms the low pass filter, and the output of this low pass filter is given to the VCO as control signal, and the VCO signal is taken here, VCO outputs. Okay, and you know the cutoff frequency of low pass filter is 1 by 2 pi RC. So similar operation just in IC 565. So PLL is available in 565 IC. Initially when PLL is developed, it was very costly and used for only high level applications. But nowadays, because of IC technology, it is available in reasonable prices and we can able to use them in many applications, especially in demodulation circuits. Okay, now let us see the derivation of lock-in range. Okay, what is lock-in range? The range of frequencies over which PLL can maintain lock with the incoming signal frequency. Okay, now let us see. So in the analog phase detector, we have seen this expression. Have you remembered for balanced modulator? Because in 565, the phase detector means it is using the balanced modulator. So what is the expression, final expression? You see, K phi into phi minus pi by 2. Okay, so this is the expression for balanced modulator outputs. Okay, error voltage. And here at phi is equal to pi by 2, what is the control voltage? 0. Okay, when phi is 0, then it is having negative, and when phi is 180 degrees, it will be having, that is more than pi by 2, it will be positive. Right? So the relationship will be like this. And now let us see the derivation of lock-in range. Okay, just now we have seen this expression for balanced modulator. This is the error voltage, and then control voltage means after passing through the amplifier. So whose gain is A? The amplifier gain is A. And next, the VCO changes its frequency according to the control voltage. So initial free running frequency is F0, and we are applying this VC. So the next frequency of the VCO will be F. That is, VCO is changing its frequency from F0 to F based on the control voltage VC. So this is the expression. And here this kV means what is the change in frequency with respect to change in control voltage. Okay. And then under the locked condition, the incoming signal frequency and VCO signal frequency are same. So F is equal to Fs, that is equal to F0 plus kV into VC. Now from this, if you simplify, VC is equal to Fs minus F0 by kV. Okay, this is VC expression. Already what is VC? Here we have seen. So if you equate these two, so we will get the expression for phase. So phase is equal to, that phase shift is equal to pi by 2 plus Fs minus F0 into K. F0 by kV K phi A. And maximum output voltage change is possible when error voltage is maximum. Okay, and when maximum is possible, just now we have seen, see here, maximum is possible at phase shift 0 as well as phase shift pi. Okay, at when there is a phase shift of 0 degrees or pi, it is giving us maximum magnitude of error voltage. So based on that, So k phi into, if I substitute phi is equal to 0 degrees, it is minus pi by 2. If I substitute phi is equal to pi, then it is pi by 2. So in both cases, I am getting pi by 2, but for the first case, it is minus. For the second case, it is plus. That's why plus or minus. Okay. So this is the maximum error voltage. And if it is maximum error voltage, what is the maximum control voltage means? Just this value into amplifier gain A. So plus or minus pi by 2 into k phi into A. And now the maximum frequency swing that can be obtained. That is how long it can maintain the lock. So that is F minus F naught max. So that is maximum swing it can maintain. It is equal to kV into Vc max. Okay. So Vc max already we have written here. So substitute that. And the maximum range of frequencies over which PLL can maintain lock means initially it is at F naught. So plus or minus F naught max. So F minus F naught max means this is the, suppose this is F naught and this is the lock range. So on positive side or on negative side, same level. Okay. So this is F minus F naught max. So maximum how much it can vary directly. Okay. So that is equal to F naught plus or minus. So this is the maximum range possibility. So if I substitute that, and this is nothing but we can represent as change in, that is delta FL. And lock range means it is, so this is delta FL this side. Similarly, delta FL this side. Then what is lock range? 2 times delta FL. Okay. So lock in range means 2 times delta FL. So 2 times of this means this by 2 gets cancels. So kV, k phi, A into pi. Okay. This is the lock in range for PLLIC. Now, already we have derived kV is 8F0 by V. Okay. And what is V? It is plus VCC minus VCC. That means 2 times VCC. And k phi for this IC is 1.4 by pi. And amplifier gain is 1.4. If I substitute these values, the lock range or delta FL is plus or minus 7.8 F0 by V. Okay. So this is the final lock-in range. Now let us see the derivation of capture range. Okay, this is the derivation of capture range. And what is the phase shift means? Phase shift between input signal and VCO signal. So omega into T will give us phase. So omega S into T. S means suffix S is there, means it is the incoming signal. So incoming signal frequency into T plus theta S. This is the overall phase of the incoming signal. Similarly, this is the overall phase of the VCO signal. So the difference between these two is the phase shift. If we simplify this, omega S minus omega naught into T plus change in these two means it is delta theta. Okay. So now if I take change of this phase shift with respect to time, that is d phi by dt means it will result in omega S minus omega naught. This is a constant. So differentiation of a constant is 0. And then it is passing to the low pass filter whose transfer function is this. Already we have discussed in the 3rd unit. The transfer function of the low pass filter will be in the form of 1 by 1 plus j f by f1, where f1 is cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, 1 by 2 pi RC. Okay. And here we are dealing with very high frequencies. Usually demodulation, N demodulation means the incoming signal is the modulated signal, which is very high frequency signal. So when it is very high frequency means we can neglect this one. That is, f is far greater than f1. That means you can neglect this one. So this term becomes f1 by jf. Okay, now we are interested in the difference frequency. So in the place of f, you substitute delta f. And what is delta f? It is the difference between incoming signal frequency and VCO signal frequency. Now what is the control voltage? So control voltage means this is the phase detector and then amplifier whose gain is A, and then low pass filter, and then VCO. So this is your block diagram, right? So now what is VC means? VC means here whatever we are getting. Okay, VE means this. So it is multiplied by the amplifier gain and the transfer function of the low pass filter. So see here, VC is equal to VE into transfer function of the low pass filter into A. And if I am interested in maximum control voltage, then VC max. So transfer function no maximum minimum values are similarly amplifier also similar value, but VE will have its maximum value. So we have to substitute VE max. And what is VE max? Okay, what is VE max? It is K phi into pi by 2. So just now we have seen in the previous derivation, actually it is K phi into phi minus pi by 2. And we are getting maximum control voltage when phi is 0 degrees or pi radians. 0 or pi radians. When I substitute 0, it is K phi into minus pi by 2, that is minus K phi into pi by 2. When I substitute pi, it is positive, K phi into pi by 2. Okay, that is plus or minus K phi into pi by 2 into amplifier gain A and the transfer function of the low pass filter at high frequencies. Now what is the maximum frequency deviation we can have? That is KV into VC max. KV means based on the control voltage, how the VCO will change its frequencies. Okay, that is KV represents change in frequency with respect to change in control voltage. That is how sensitive it is changing to the control voltage. Okay, so now if I substitute this Fs minus F0 max, because here F is nothing but the incoming signal, so we are representing it Fs. So Fs minus F0 max is equal to, just substitute here, and Fs minus F0 max is nothing but change in this. Okay, if I substitute that, what happens? This delta Fc gets squared and the remaining term will be left here, and we know delta FL is this. Okay, so this whole thing can be replaced by delta FL, and to get delta FC, take root on both sides. So this square and root gets cancelled here, and here you will get the roots. And 2 delta FC is the capture range. Okay, 2 delta FC is the capture range. So that is equal to 2 times this. And you substitute this delta FL here. Okay. So delta FL directly I have written, and F1 means 1 by 2 pi RC, and here in the monolithic 565 IC, it is R value is 3.6 kilo ohms. So we are substituting that. Okay, square root of means whole power 1 by 2. So this is the final expression for capture range. That is up to what frequencies it is able to capture. And lock-in and capture range of PLL, it is like this. So this is the center frequency, that is the free running frequency, and this is the capture range. From this to this, always capture range will be less than the lock-in range, and this is the total is lock range. Okay, now let us see the applications of PLL. Some of the applications of PLL. The first one is frequency translator. Frequency translator means it is changing one frequency to the other frequency. So how is it possible means? So this is your PLL. So additional blocks we have added. So what is the function of this PLL? What is the function of this PLL? It will compare this F1 with F0 minus Fs. So F0 minus Fs is equal to, it will make equal to F1. Under lock condition means this signal and this signal frequency will be same. And you have to remember, under locking condition both incoming signal frequency and VCO signal frequency will be same, and they will be 90 degrees phase shift. They are having a phase shift of 90 degrees. So from this, what is F0? Fs plus F1. So it is shifting or translating its frequency. Not only plus, we can do minus also. And the next application is frequency multiplier or divider. So frequency multiplier or divider means here we are using divide by n network. So okay, if we want multiplier means here we have to use the divider network. Then divider network, what it will do? Suppose this VCO output is F0. So F0 will be divided by n. So F0 by n, under lock condition, this frequency will be equal to Fi. So this implies F0 equal to n times Fi. That is, it is multiplier. Suppose n value is less than 1, then it will be acting as divider. And next application is AM detection, that is AM demodulation. In AM demodulation, we need, for synchronous detection, we need same phase and same frequency. But under lock condition, what we have discussed, they will maintain same frequency, but there will be 90 degrees phase shift. So to compensate that, we are using 90 degrees phase shift here. Then the signal here and here will be having same frequency and same phase. Then they are multiplied and passed through low pass filter means we will get perfect message signal. Okay. And next one is FM demodulation. In FM demodulation, what happens? Here FM signal will come. This is the phase detector. This is the low pass filter. Okay, amplifier. Let it be low pass filter. And here VCO. Okay. So here Fi is not constant because it is frequency modulated signal means from time to time its frequency will be changing, and this VCO will try to lock to this incoming signal frequency, and at some frequency both will be matching. So after that, what is happening? Because of locking capability, what is happening? Whenever suppose both are locked at some 88 kilohertz. Okay. Now incoming signal is changed to 89 kilohertz. Then automatically VCO output also will be 89 kilohertz. So like that, in its lock range, it is able to catch or track the input signal frequency variations. So in that manner, it can provide the exact locked condition, that is exact carrier for demodulation. Similarly, FSK demodulation. In FM demodulation, we have infinite number of frequencies. From 88 to 108 megahertz means it is continuous modulation. So we can have n number of frequencies. We can't count this many number. But whereas FSK means incoming signal frequencies are only 2. For logic 0, 1 frequency, logic 1, 1 frequency. For example, if we take teletypewriter, it is changing between 1070 Hz and 1270 Hz. Right? Suppose PLL is locked at 1070 Hz means it is able to track this. If it is locked at 1270 means it will track this. So like that it is able to catch all, it is able to track all incoming signal frequencies and it is able to provide the perfect carrier which is required for the FSK demodulation. Okay, now let us recap what we have discussed in this class. What is PLL? PLL means it is a phase lock loop which is non-linear control system which is able to recover the carrier which is required for demodulation of AM signal, FM signal and FSK signals. And what is capture range? So capture range means the range of frequencies over which PLL can acquire the lock for the incoming signal frequencies. Okay, and it is depending on the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter. If the cutoff frequency of low pass filter is small means its capture range will be less. And what is lock-in range? Lock-in range means the range of frequencies over which PLL can maintain lock with the incoming signal frequencies. Okay, always lock range will be greater than the capture range. And next one, what is pulling time? So pulling time means the time taken by the PLL to establish the lock. What is voltage controlled oscillator? It is part of PLL and its main function is based on the incoming signal voltage, it changes its frequency of oscillations. And what are the applications of PLL? So coming to the applications, we have discussed many and actually PLL is having many applications and in our AM receivers, FM receivers, FSK receivers, we use this to get the synchronized carrier for demodulation. Okay, and this is your assignment. These are your references. I hope you understand. Thank you.